We're a nation of immigrants, and we're a melting pot. We're this blend that creates a mosaic of cultures. But even with such diversity, immigrants still struggle to land roles in the entertainment industry.
Immigrants, the backbone of our nation. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. The founders of our country were immigrants themselves, and we continue to have immigrants contribute to the advancement of our society. Today, immigrants are especially relevant in American entertainment and sports, despite many not being recognized for their presence. Immigrants have a particularly impactful presence in American sports entertainment, as seen in football, soccer, and baseball. Immigrants, such as former NFL player Hines Ward, who has won 2 Super Bowls, was invited to 4 Pro Bowls, and set numerous Steelers franchise receiving records. Brazilian soccer player Pelé played for the North American soccer team and was widely thought of as one of the greatest soccer players of all time. Mariano Rivera, a former Major League Baseball player for the New York Yankees from Panama, played 19 seasons with the Yankees, and is considered by many one of the best relief pitchers to ever play the game. Baseball is a sport played and loved by people all around the world, and MLB Baseball displays the wide variety of baseball players every season.
They have a huge impact. As of opening day this past season, opening day in 2017, almost 30% of the league was foreign-born players. A lot of the records that are broken by foreign-born players. You know, Ichiro Suzuki broke a record for hits. Miguel Cabrera got the first Triple Crown in 50 years. Sammy Sosa has hit more home runs than a lot of players from this country.
Many people, especially with the new political climate brought on by the Trump administration, have taken an anti-immigrant stance. There seems to be a double standard here, as few people complain about the sports talent coming into the country and immigrant players already playing on teams, but often complain about other immigrants coming into and currently living in the United States. Regardless what people think, MLB wouldn't be the same baseball league without all different players that make it up. And all the talent they bring to the table is the reason MLB is one of the highest levels of baseball in the US. Ultimately, MLB baseball teams wouldn't be the same without their immigrant players. And most people recognize this and appreciate the hard work of the players. Once players get past all the stereotypes and bias that surround their culture, all they have to do is prove themselves on the field and show what they can do, what they're here to do. Not only do immigrants have a big impact in sports entertainment, they also have a large presence in performing arts. Many performers in popular plays and shows are immigrants or come from a background of immigration, but are not recognized for their contributions. Here in America, we constantly rely on media to carve our understanding of the world, so it's important that media properly portrays the real world by representing minorities correctly. On TV, Hispanics, Blacks, and Middle Eastern immigrants are mostly portrayed as criminals. Studies at the CATO Institute state that immigrants represented engaging in criminal activity are 50% Latino, 33% Black, and 25% Middle Eastern, while only 9% being white. However, in reality, immigrants are less likely to be involved in criminal activities and be imprisoned than native-born people. Research from the Opportunity Agenda, Power of Pop media analysis of immigration representation in popular TV programs state that 25% of Latino immigrant characters were represented in lower-level professions, or as unemployed, but then 94% of white immigrants were represented as scientific, medical, and military roles. This portrayal drives a negative perception on immigrants, especially those of color. The media has a central part in creating and changing the public's view, and a topic such as immigration should be dealt with properly. Places such as Strathmore University do a tremendously great job at representing their multicultural artists. Recently, with musicals and theater becoming more popular with the youth, this is very relevant. And seeing that their favorite actors share the same race as them can really impact young theater fans.
A huge importance in presenting different kind of cultural groups, especially in the education program. It fills me with joy when kids are able to see an artist that mirrors their image, when they encounter someone that they can culturally identify with. It's just such a beautiful thing. And as an immigrant myself, born in Nigeria, I feel both happy and hopeful when I see people that look like me in television. So it's a learning moment for all of us, where we realize that There are more people that look like us, don't look like us on stage.
Music halls such as Strathmore are using the opportunity to educate a predominantly white community about different types of immigrant work in the area. But situations like this, while increasing, are still a rarity. The amount of opportunities that immigrants receive to showcase their culture in America is limited compared to the white or European cultures that are celebrated. Discrimination immigrants face also translates into television and media. Recently, award ceremonies such as the Oscars and Emmys have been receiving significant backlash for their lack of representation in Academy and in the films that are being awarded. This systematic racism illustrates the discrimination of immigrants that is rooted into the American culture. But now more than ever, people have something to say about the lack of recognition immigrant entertainers receive. There are more and more organizations across America working to help represent the immigrant role in American society and entertainment.
Ola Cultura is, our role is to assist artists and others, writers and others who would be considered humanities practitioners to showcase their work and to connect with their audiences.
Whenever you see movements where immigrant entertainers are coming together to create content that educates the world at large on the controversy that's happening, people are no longer being lax about the issue. We're not turning on the TV and just saying, oh, that's a thing that's happening out in the world, and turning it off. We're being more politically active. There are entertainers, both young and old, who are politically charged to take a stance and say, half of the entertainment industry are immigrants, you know?
The United Nations is an intergovernmental organization that addresses problems throughout the different nations. Ambassador Suazo is a representative from Honduras, working with the United Nations in New York City. Working in New York, a very diverse city, he has an experience with many immigrant groups.
The community of immigrants, for example, in the United States, is a fairly hardworking, fairly active community, actively participating in the economic development of the country, but are always under the stigma of a person who migrated.
The way immigrants are seen, not just in the entertainment industry, but in life in general, can be influenced by just a few people in the community. If the mistake of one immigrant gets attention from many of the news outlets on TV and online, immigrants from all over the country of the same culture or ethnicity can get backlash for the actions of one person, which doesn't make life any easier. Just because one person of one culture does something wrong, doesn't mean everyone from that culture will do the same. If people see immigrants on television being portrayed accurately, or as doctors, scientists, and people in military roles, seeing all the advantages that immigrants bring to the U.S., the widespread public view of immigrant groups could improve. Throughout the years, our country has gotten more progressive, and the media has changed along with the views of the American people. However, we still have a long way to go in making sure immigrants get properly represented in our entertainment. We live in a very diverse country, and the people who have traveled from far to be here deserve to see themselves in a sports game or on their favorite TV show or in a government position. So it's very important that we push towards making this happen.
We don't simply welcome new immigrants. We don't simply welcome new arrivals. We are born of immigrants. That is who we are. Immigration is our origin story.